Traveling is not as cracked up to be, despite this postcard looking view in front of you. If you are traveling and you're looking for something, if you're looking, if you're desiring, if you're searching, if you're looking for companionship, you're looking for friends, for parties, for experiences, you're looking for something that's gonna make you, I don't know, happier. You ain't gonna find it. You ain't gonna find it. That is just not possible. Because if you are a certain type of person in XYZ place, you're going to bring that same consciousness to you everywhere you go. Meaning, if you're the type that's always looking for external validation, you're gonna come travel and bring that external validation search mechanism inside of you wherever you go. You won't really enjoy your travels. You will get the initial high, of course, initial rush of being in a new place. And if you really want to go beyond that rush, you come to a place and you stay in it for a little while. Stay in it for at least a month because you settle in and then you're like, oh shit, I got to deal with my bullshit now. I got to deal with my own stuff, my emotions, my boredom, my escapism, how I have all these escape mechanisms to escape, my thoughts, to escape my emotions, to escape the deep existential crisis that is clearly still isn't dealt with or isn't reconciled, let's say. It isn't conciled, it isn't integrated within. And that existential crisis often leads you to your mission in life because then you question, why am I here? And then that takes you on many, many rabbit holes. And then few years later, you come out of the rabbit hole saying, oh boy, that was a ride. But I guess I know what I got to do here now. And that's when you sort out that existential crisis. But, again, traveling, I mean, I come across an endless amount of travelers, naturally, and from all walks of life. And I suppose I have the ability now to, with a decent level of accuracy, to kind of gauge where my fellow soul is at in the journey. Just off of a simple interaction, I could see if they're here to enjoy and celebrate, or I could see if they're here trying to escape something back home. I could see it. I could see it. I could feel it. I could sense it. Like I met a guy beside me, in the cabin right beside me. The guy is here to celebrate life. He's got shit figured out clearly, within a couple of minutes of talking to him. Clearly grounded guy, relaxed, laughing, just laughs at everything. You know, clearly. I mean, clearly the guy is just here to celebrate. He's traveling. He's a celebratory traveler, what I call. Somebody traveling to celebrate life. And so what happens in that process is he just goes around everywhere spreading that joy, spreading that celebration. It doesn't matter where he goes, he's just happy. He's just celebrating life by experiencing it in different locations and environments and with different people. I could tell right away. It's like instantaneous. Then you could always sense also the traveler that's escaping all their problems back home. And often you just have to spend a little bit more time with that type of traveler. See what their eating habits are like. Are they smoke? How often do they smoke? How often do they reach for the cigarette? How often do they reach for the beer? What's on their mind? Like are they constantly looking for their next meal? Are they constantly looking for the next rush? Like they'll come to a place and they'll see it and they'll take all photos and pictures and be like, all right, let's go next. Where's next? Where's next? Where's next? Like a headless chicken. So you'd have to often spend a little bit more time with that type of traveler to sense, to get an idea. And I'm not posing any judgments here. I'm just like literally I'm just an observant at this point. I'm just observing what is. I'm literally just recording to you my observations on my travels, my own observations on my own behavior, because I came into Copenhagen. I settled in for a little while, and then I had to deal with my own bullshit. I had to deal with my own bullshit, and I had to deal with my own boredom. That's why I say, come spend some time in a place, at least a month, because then you settle into it. You get all the rushes out of your system, and now it's like, well, okay, back in here again. I'm bored, or I have some emotions inside that I'm repressing by constantly looking for a new rush, a new experience, a new view, a new place, a new cave, a new this, a new that. And then you sit down with it, and then it's a painful process, but then you go through the process and you come out of the other side saying, well, that wasn't bad, and you come out with a sense of clarity on the other side of it. And yeah, and so yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see, because you meet all types of people from all walks of life. You meet it's really interesting. To travel, to be a traveler is an interesting thing. To live out of a small suitcase is extraordinary. Actually, I'm really grateful for the experience. What it's teaching me, and also, what it's teaching me about myself. Like I said, I had to sit with these painful moments of boredom and emotions, which eventually led me to a rekindling of my mission. Which, I mean, if you haven't noticed, you've seen the increase in frequency of the videos lately, and I've been communicating with a lot of you guys on Instagram, because I have like a rekindle. My mission is rekindled out of boredom, out of my boredom and my emotions, which I've been repressing. The emotions of feeling the suffering of the planet and the humanity, came this rekindling of my mission. But I had to sit down with that stuff. I went to Copenhagen after 2 weeks. It wears off on you, the newness of it, and you settle back in, and then you have to face it. Then I come to Pi. I'm in Pi for 4 months, so I got 2 more months here. Same thing. You go, you go to all the places, you explore, you get the rushes out of you. Then it's like, well, you're back to yourself. And so that I mean, ultimately, that led me to this rekindling of the mission. And also, just to give you an idea of how my day looks like nowadays, it's 3 to 4 hours of breath work, essentially just breath work, slowing down my breathing, and 3 to 4 hours of walking, and then the rest goes towards. So the walking is sort of my reflection. I reflect on life in my walks, and then I make videos. I hang out with people. You still have time. You'll be surprised at how much time you have, and how much time, if you set up a lifestyle like this, a nomadic, minimalistic lifestyle, you'll be surprised at how much time you have to breathe, to meditate, to walk and reflect, and then I still hang out with people. I still hang out with people. And it's funny because I'm in such a flow state these days because of all the breath work that I do, that I'm literally, I don't want anything from anybody. I am so content being here, right? I'm so content. I'm like here in the middle of the street. I'm content even here, like just hanging out on the cement with this beautiful view in front of me. Like, I'm just content, right? I got these calluses here, look at that here. That one hurts. I'm content. I'm content here. I'm content with or with no companionship. It doesn't matter at this point. But it's a funny thing, because in that state, I do end up meeting a lot of people. Very, very interesting how it happens. Really interesting, because I don't want to meet people, but I'm not opposed to meeting people neither. You understand what I'm saying? I'm neither seeking nor not seeking. I'm not opposed to having a friend, a new friend, and a companion, and it doesn't matter. I'm not opposed to it. If there is a person and there's an interaction that comes to be, then I'm there fully for it. And then if something further develops, if nothing, then it's okay for me, because I don't want anything. And that's what happens when you really like face your own shit, you deal with it, then you get on a mission. You guys are all wanderers, light workers, starseeds. You without your mission, you'll continue to be lost. Plain and simple. You'll continue to be lost. So you got to figure out a mission. And then from that, you meditate, because, you slow down your breathing, and then you become hyper aware of your breathing. And then if it continues to slow down, and then you continue to slow it down and slow it down and slow it down, then pretty soon you're just in Wu Wei. Wu Wei, just you're in total flow, total harmony. You don't want anything. You're fulfilled by the moment. You're fulfilled by the breath. You're fulfilled by isness. And so you just become super flexible. You just become super flexible, and then you're neither seeking nor non-seeking. It's a funny thing. It really is a funny thing. It's neither. Yeah, it's because if you're not seeking, you're seeking not seeking. You understand what I'm saying here? It's that being attached to non-attachment. That's what it's called, right? Being attached. I'm not attached to anything. That's an attachment. So it's like, well, I don't want to hang out with people. I'm not seeking people anymore. I've risen above that. But then now your new attachment is I'm alone. I don't want to be with people. You see? But then the idea is, if you actually just slow down your breathing, and it takes hours, of work every day. I've already put in what today? An hour and a half. I probably put in, today is the kind of day where I'll put in 4 to 5 hours of breath work. Just slowing down my breathing, literally. Just sitting down and slowing down my breathing and massaging my legs and stuff in the process. Giving myself a massage in the process, or stretching. But essentially, just slowing down the breath. As I'm stretching, as I'm massaging, I hold my breath. Like, it's gotta be, less than 4 breaths per minute. For sure. And yeah, and if you do that, then everything somehow you just get in super flow, man. You just become fulfilled in the moment. Really, really beautiful stuff. And now you travel as a celebratory traveler, and you enjoy everything that traveling has to offer, as opposed, because you're not trying to extract something out of the experience of traveling. No, you're here to bless and be blessed by every moment, by every place, by every environment, and every person you meet. You're both simultaneously blessing and getting blessed by that moment, that person, that encounter. Yeah, right now I have an encounter with these clouds and these mountains and this street, and I guess the vibe here is so beautiful, that it wouldn't just attract me out of nowhere to park in the middle of the street and just sit here. And it goes beyond just the view. There's something here in the subtler form, and that's something when you do the breath work, is you become more attuned with the subtler energies. And there's definitely something here that just attracted me to sit down here and make this video. It really is beautiful, beautiful vibes. And so, but then I wasn't seeking that. I wasn't on my bike waiting. I'm like, I'm gonna just wait for the next moment where I sense the good vibrations. No, it's just, I'm not seeking. I'm just here, and then boom. It's the Wu Wei. That's the Tao. The heart. That's when you harmonize yourself with the Tao. You become harmonious. You become the Tao. You are the Tao. Your will is the will of the Tao at that point. So, a lot of you guys have reached out to me in Instagram and on email now, saying you want to travel and you want to come to Thailand, and you've been inspired by this lifestyle, and I salute you and I commend you. And I would just keep in mind that, are you escaping something, or are you coming here to find yourself internally? Because traveling is a fantastic way of actually finding yourself internally. So, are you traveling to escape, or are you traveling to find the deepest inner part of you? Because it helps to go in a new environment altogether. These clouds certainly help. These mountains certainly help. All this greenery certainly helps. Certainly helps. If you're looking to have a blank slate, if you're looking for some time of introspection and contemplation, I'll tell you, these clouds will help you tremendously. But if you're escaping, none of this will help you. None of this will help you. It's the same void inside. You're escaping the void. You're escaping the void. So it's not gonna help you. You'll get a rush first week of wherever you're going, and then I'll guarantee you by the 7th day it'll wear off. You'll settle back into old habits. But you come here, you have a blank slate. You're not escaping anything. You sit down with your problems. You sit down with your existential crisis. You sit down with your childhood traumas. You sit down with your emotions. I mentioned previously in videos how I had a little phase here in which it climaxed in one day, which I had a 9 to 5 job of crying, literally, because I just felt like there's so much suffering in the planet, in which the next day I began to shoot these two videos in a row, two videos a day, and really be fully immersed again in the mission. But it didn't happen unless I was willing to sit down and face the tears and face the the the, the hurt and face the existential crisis and the boredom, because I was feeling bored with my time and bored, just bored, which was manifesting in all the food binges that I had here in the last 3 months. I had a lot of food binges here because you come here, you have a lot of time, you do everything, you go, you check out the views, you enjoy it, and then you're like, but then you're bored, you're not fulfilled, you're breathing too much, you're too rapidly, not enough breath work, not enough introspection, not enough, you're not in touch with the mission. So of course that manifested in a lot of food binges that I had here, which were in and of themselves interesting experiences on so many levels, to experience the textures and the taste of new foods, but also to experience the consequences, and to really reflect on why I was having these binges. And it turns out I was just bored, and that turns out to be because I was just not in touch with my mission, and that turns out also to be because I was also hiding these emotions that I was feeling, which is the deep hurt for the planet, which is why I initially signed up to come here. I come from these other densities and this other star system, as many of you guys do. And so that's why I signed up here in the first place, because I felt, telepathically, I felt there's so much suffering on the planet. I want to come here and do something about it. And then, of course, all that leads to this beautiful moment that I am experiencing right now, which is a moment of fulfillment, really, a moment of gratitude, a moment of contentment, a moment of isness. Uh, you know, uh, the breathing is really on point. It's slow, it's steady. I'm in flow. Oh, look at these chickens. Zoom in. It's all you hear in the morning here. So I'm really grateful for the moment. But yeah, I really wanted to bring that to attention to anybody watching this. Traveling is fun. Oh, I wouldn't have it any other way. Any other way? No way. I would not be anything but a wanderer, both on the planet in this 3D, and you know as a wanderer, because that's what Ra calls it, right? In raw material, wanderers, people who come from other star systems for a certain mission here. That's the name Ra uses, wanderers. And so it kind of makes sense to also manifest that label, on the planet and wander around, but not wander from a place of looking or being lost, but now from a place of fulfillment. You wander around, you go around from place to place, being blessed and blessing, learning and teaching both simultaneously at the same time, in total harmony with the way, in total harmony with the Tao, because you love the planet so much and you love the beings on it so much that you can't help but continue to wander around so that you could be blessed and bless as many of the inhabitants and the beings and the places and the environments as possible. That's the wanderer, from a healthy point of view, from a healthy foundation. So find a healthy foundation when you travel. I found my healthy foundation. It's basically, like I said, 3 to 4 hours of breath work a day, 3 to 4 hours of walking every day, which gets to be both my appreciation for nature, and I usually do it after the breath work, so that my breathing's so low and I can really appreciate nature, and that also gives me a lot of insights and reflections. And then I just do what I wish with the rest of the day, which is working on these videos, working on the mission, and then interacting with any being that comes across my way. Let it be a butterfly, let it be a human, or anything else for that matter. So you found the foundation, and then you're set in your wandering ways. Now you're a wanderer, going about joyfully, in a celebratory manner, a traveler that is celebrating life, that is celebrating love, that is celebrating wisdom, as opposed to a traveler that is escaping light, escaping wisdom, escaping love, because you don't want to face the boredom, you don't want to face your existential crisis, you don't want to face the emotions, the traumas, the childhood traumas, the hurts, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's a little wisdom from this place, which I take no credit for fully. I am channeling the trees around me, the mountains, the clouds, and the subtler energies here, and all the benevolent fourth dimensional entities that are hanging around here. Yeah. Very, very thankful for our patrons for supporting this journey, this wonderful journey that is taking me from my apartment with all these weights in it, doing motivational and fitness videos, to Pai, Thailand. Uh, I don't know, doing this wandering business here. So that's very interesting, and I'm so grateful for the Patreons and all the people that supported on PayPal. If it's something you feel inclined to do, their links are in the description, whether it's becoming a Patreon, which you could do for like $2 a month, or just one-time donations. So I love you guys and appreciate you. Saeed Mobayed Instagram. I love all the interactions I've been having with you guys there. I'm so glad I brought Instagram back again. So glad to be communicating with you guys. And so if you'd like to communicate further there, then we can do so on Instagram. Love you guys. And until next time, may the force be with you.